And this post comes from Environmental 26. It says this: I feel kind of awful. I haven't cut in months, but yesterday I did. It's not big, so I guess it doesn't matter too much, but it is visible to the point where I feel bad. Everything just got too much. My parents were yelling at me and saying things like, "You make life so miserable," or "I can't wait until you move out." I guess I should explain that I'm a senior in high school, will be going to college this year, so I will be moving out, but it still hurts. I currently have a job, so I can't pay for therapy. I know some people have mentioned it. Has money too. My mom has money too, but she seems to believe that isn't working. She bases this off of how many times I do my chores. My suicidal thoughts. Thanks. My suicidal thoughts get worse every day, but my urge to cut again does as well. I can't help but feel unwanted. I would talk to a guidance person at school, but ours left. The other one just doesn't listen to me when I talk. I'm starting to fall behind in my college work, my regular school work, and I just don't know what to do. I feel bad for coming on here, but I need somewhere to place these thoughts. Never want to make life miserable, but I'm convinced I do. I feel bad about it. Everyone always has someone else. Nobody really needs me. That, or I just mean that I seriously go unnoticed. Again, sorry for being negative. I wish I wasn't. So, Environmental, thank you so much for sharing these thoughts. Thank you so much for sharing, with us here on the support wall. That's amazing. That's what it's here for. You're using it correctly. So I don't want you to apologize, because that's exactly what this place is built for, is to share your thoughts in a space where you're not going to be judged or made fun of or looked down upon or whatever. This is just you experiencing what you're experiencing in your life. And the reason that this place is here is so that we can all come around and help support you through this struggle, right? Through this season. So that's what we're going to do here today. We're going to spend some time and talk about your situation, talk about it. Again, we're not going to give you any advice. We're not going to tell you what to do with your life, but we certainly have some thoughts and some insight that I think we'd like to share with you, because we've been around for a while. We're just a couple internet dads. Who cares?
That's true.
And that's literally our qualification.
Been around the block a couple times, I'll tell you. Back in my day.
So yeah, I hope that you feel heard and loved and valuable, because we're going to spend some time here to show you that we believe you are. Yeah. And really appreciate you giving us this opportunity to speak into your life and just being brave and sharing what's going on in the first place. This moment wouldn't have happened unless you had not shared on the support wall. So thank you so much for posting. Chat, everyone here listening, can you relate to any of what this person is talking about here? Feeling like the parents, or people you're living with don't appreciate you or respect you, or they want you out. You feel like maybe you're struggling with some kind of addiction, or you're expressing your emotions in an unhealthy way. Are you feeling like you can't keep up with life? You're feeling regret, you're feeling guilt. Like, if you can relate to what this person is saying, please consider responding to this person's support wall topic. Exclamation point instructions will tell you how. And let's get into it. What do you think, man?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I think there's a lot of shame here, and it makes sense, because when you're at home and the people at home, your parents or your guardians or whoever, those are the people that are supposed to be in your court. Those are supposed to be the people that constantly have your back, right? That's like what's right. Unfortunately, that's not always the case. And I think for a lot of us, at minimum, it's imperfect sometimes.
Yeah.
The kind of support that we get from our loved ones. And especially, I mean, it sounds like, we don't have the whole context here, so we don't know, like, if you had a big argument or what, but like saying things like, you make life so miserable, or I can't wait till you move out, that's really hurtful stuff. Really hurtful. And there's no excuse for that. That's not things that a parent should say to a child, or to their child. I know you're not a child, but like, that's just not,
Yeah.
that's not right. And so it sounds like, they're obviously hurting, and they are kind of, they're I forget what it's called. The thing where they're lashing out. That's what I mean. It sounds like they're lashing out because of some hurt that they're going through too.
Sure.
Everything is generally more complicated than somebody just being mean to somebody. There's always like a lot more going on in their life. So it sounds like there's a lot of that going on. And regardless of the reasons why, the effect is that it is making you feel bad for being who you are. It's making you feel bad for being at your house, and for being, just being you and the things that you do. And so you're constantly have this like nagging voice in your head that you suck and that you're not enough, and that, everybody would be better off if you would leave.
Yeah.
And so those kind of things that just replay in your head over and over and over, it's a lot. I mean, it's an intense amount of this hurt. And it's totally natural to want to do something with that hurt,
Yes.
to want to express that in some way. And, we see that a lot being expressed as self-harm, or seeing as running to addictions, seeing as destructive behaviors, that kind of thing, because in kind of a strange, like, mixed up way, it makes sense in your mind that this is like making sense of the pain that you feel, right? And so one thing is, we're not ashamed of you here at HeartSupport. We do not think that you are, that you make life miserable.
That's right.
We want to spend time with you. We want to care for you. And we believe that you are worthy of love and care. And it's just, it's so sad that this is the kind of thoughts that are being pushed onto you. And it's sad that there is this reaction that you're having of, man, I just feel terrible. Again, it's understandable, but we don't believe you deserve that.
Yeah.
So what do you think, Danjo?
Yeah, I agree. It sounds to me like there's just these, you're like at the bottom of this like teetering Jenga pile of stressors, right? And when something happens, it's not removing it. It's just like you're just managing it and putting it in a more precarious place above it as the priorities shift. And it's just starting to do this,
Yeah.
And it sounds like there's stressful situations at home. There's the underlying stress. I mean, you're in college, like, gosh, I know what that's like. There's so much going on, and these deadlines and social interactions and expectations, and it's like, gosh, this is being paid for, so it's like there's an investment that's happening, or a pressure of needing to achieve because you're investing in yourself,
Yeah.
and all these things are stacking up, and not having that kind of support at, like what Casey said before, from the people who are supposed to be like fundamental in that support, is really disheartening and really unfortunate. And I'm so sorry that that's happening. And it sounds like there has been a theme of self-harm here that's happened. And again, that makes sense, because you, like Casey said, you want to put that pain in a place that makes sense. right? And so when you put it into a wound, it's like, oh yeah, obviously wounds hurt.
Mm-hmm.
That's how like what I'm feeling. Feel like a wound. Feel like I'm being wounded.
Yeah.
And so I just want to let you know that like that's not weird to us. That's not like, I feel like there's a lot of stigma around that.
Yeah.
Certainly don't see it that way, but certainly don't see it as healthy either. Just want to call that out for what it is. I believe that is an unhealthy coping mechanism for all this teetering Jenga tower of stressors that are happening in your life.
Yeah.
Right. And what you need to be is stronger and more healthy, so you can maybe rearrange some of these things in a different way so that there's more structure and more stability.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
So I want to let you know that first and foremost, we hear you, we love you, we want what's best for you. Don't want you to feel unsupported. We don't want you to feel unloved. We don't want you to feel unheard. We certainly don't want you to continue in these thought patterns and shame cycles that it sounds like you're kind of locked in right now.
Yeah.
And that's leading to more of these expressions of unhealthy expressions of your emotions by the cutting, the shame speaking, whatever is going on. But we have some resources that we want to encourage you to check out. HeartSupport has a book on self-harm called Rewrite. That is a incredible tool that has helped so many people. It's like part workbook, part journal. It's fantastic. You can find it on Amazon. Just look it up there. Exclamation point Rewrite in chat if you want to get a link to that there. If you know somebody who is struggling with that, if you yourself are struggling with that. If you want a copy, would look into that. You know, I think that would really help. The other thing is if you're not finding support and counsel from, it sounds like somebody at school, you know, then I would encourage you to find that in a different place, because you need to put these thoughts and these emotions and these situations into the presence of people who care.
Yep.
I hear at the moment, it sounds like your parents aren't the best people to put those things in right now. And that sucks, and that's unfortunate, and I'm sorry. That makes me really sad. That's not fair. But there are services out there. You're using the support wall. That's a wonderful service. I'm sure there are probably some groups that meet in your area, some kind of local community support that's in the area. I would encourage you just to do some research to see if there's some places around there that could possibly help with that. But I want you to know that deserves more attention.
Yeah.
Especially if you're finding yourselves caught in these unhealthy coping mechanisms, like you've said you've been in before. I just don't want you to be stuck in that, because that's certainly not going to help you get any better.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a great point. You know, having an outlet here, so important.
Sure.
You know, if there are people that don't listen to you at school, I mean, I'd recommend telling a teacher, like, hey, I don't feel like the counselor is talking to me like well, like I don't understand, like it's not working for me, because they might be able to help you come to an understanding with them or suggest something else. You know, there might be other services.
Right.
But yeah, there needs to be something like that, because man, everybody needs that. Everybody needs somebody safe to talk with.
Yes.
And, you know, if you just can't find something else, I mean, and, you know, and in addition also, you can talk at HeartSupport.
Yep.
You can come on our stream. You can talk with us. You can post on the support wall. You can use the Discord. There are people here who are safe and who care.
That's right.
Yeah, and one other thing I wanted to mention is this relapse. You can just feel so terrible after a relapse, especially after, you know, say you haven't cut in months, and now you just feel like a piece of crap, right? Like because you're like, well, I made it this far, but now I messed it all up, right?
Yeah.
And it's okay. It's okay.
That's right.
Because now you know a little bit more. You know all of the information that comes with why did I relapse and where did that
Sure.
happen and how did this
Sure.
this go down. And so you're actually wiser now. But yeah, we want you to be good to yourself. And so yeah, I think taking some time and thinking about, all right, how did this relapse happen? Why did it happen? And
Yeah.
how can I prepare now for when I'm weak next time?
Yes.
The other thing I would mention is that oftentimes what happens when somebody relapses is they go, okay, I'm never going to do that again. And, I'm swearing off whatever it is, never doing it again. But that shame is still there. And that eats at you to the point where you feel bad. And then you're like, okay, what will help me feel good? Well, my addiction. And then you go back into it.
Right.
And so it's pretty common for people to go, to go back to their addiction 2 or 3 times in a row, like within a few days sometimes, just because that shame compounds, right? It doesn't have to be that way, but you have to be aware of it, and you have to keep your guard up, because man, if you let your guard down and you say, oh, I'm never going to do that again, man, I mean, tomorrow you might find yourself really hurting. And so do the things that are helpful, put yourself in a different place. Don't stay up as late, talk to people, journal about this, like that kind of stuff really, really helps. And just because you relapsed, even if you've been clean for a really long time, doesn't mean you're a bad person. It just means that you had a bad moment.
That's right.
And now you can have a good moment.
That's right.
And that's okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Anything else you want to say, Danjo?
No, just want to say thank you to everyone who's shared some responses in the chat. That's really cool. Sarah, Beth, thank you so much. Really appreciate that. Also, welcome Raiders from Casual Hero Stream. Hello, friends. Appreciate the support. Hope you're having a wonderful day. And yeah, I just want to say thank you so much again to Environmental, the person who made this initial post here, and it's really cool that we get the ability to have this little snapshot into somebody's life and get to share in it. The last thing we want is for anyone to feel like you're doing this by yourself. That is not what is helpful. That's certainly not what is safe, and we want to be involved with you. We want to come alongside of you and walk with you on your mental health journey, because gosh, I know I need it sometimes.
Yeah, me too.
And it feels good knowing that other people are in your court. So
That's right.
I want you to have it sounds like you're having a lot of uncertainty in other areas of your life. Have some certainty in this, that HeartSupport is here with you and that you're loved. Okay? And that we aren't going anywhere. And we're only going to be encouraging and supportive and positive, and regardless of what's going on in your life, this can be a constant, at least for a while, as long as you need it. So please come back. Please keep us up to speed on what's happening in your Support World post. Come by one of our streams, join the Discord, follow us on socials, all those good things, but stay connected with us somehow, because we want to help out as much as we can. But thank you so much for posting. Hold fast.
Wonderful.